This is level J, list 5, and we're doing the day 1. And here we've got ARE as our air sound. So you've all previously learnt AIR for the air sound. Now this is another way we may write the air sound. So you have to remember these words have the ARE and keep them separately in your brain from the ones that have AIR in them. So we've got B-air, bear, K-air, care, D-air, dare, H-air, hair, R-air, rare, St-air, stare, Gl-air, glare, Sk-air, scare, A-air, aware, beware, beware. Okay, so if you have a look at some of these, there's some extra hints in here too for some of the word selections. If you look at care, we know we use a C before an A because there's a C hidden inside the A. So be aware of that. Now, hair down here, there's another hair. This hair is the hair on your head. This hair is the large rabbit. Okay, so we've got some words that can be spelt differently to show that they mean something different to make the spelling easier for us. I think they're the only ones. Okay, oh, bear, you can have the animal bear too. So this bear that we're learning today, the B-A-R-E, means that's uncovered or it's just enough of something. So you might have bare feet, which means your feet aren't covered, or you might have the bare amount of food to take when you go camping. So it means you don't have a lot of food, you've just got enough. Care means when you're looking after someone or when you care for someone, when you feel fondly about how someone else feels. Dare is where you might challenge someone to a quest. So this person is obviously doing a dare, they're parachuting out of a plane. Hare is a large, it looks a little bit like a rabbit, but it's a larger and it has bigger ears, and when it sits on its bottom when it's sitting up, whereas rabbits will sit with their front paws down. Rare means there's not a lot of it. It's very special. You can't find much of it. And it can also mean when you're cooking meat that you don't cook it too much. It's still quite rare. It might be a little bit pink in the middle. Stare. This stare means when you look at someone for a long time without blinking. Whereas the other stare is the stare where you walk up and down the stairs. Glare, sometimes if you try to look at the sun on a hot summer's day, it will be too bright for you to look at, and it might make your eyes squint, so that's because of the glare. There's too much light for your eyes, and also it can be a very, it could be like a frown someone gives you. When someone glares at you, you know you've done something wrong and they don't need to say a word. Just the look on their face tells you you're in trouble. Scare means when you frighten someone. So this ghost is frightening this poor man. So we can get a scare from lots of things, from a bang or a sudden noise or movement can scare us. Snakes scare me, so you might have something that you're scared of. Aware, when you know something, you're aware of it. So this is a sign saying be aware. So there must be danger around. So they're telling the person to be alert, to be watching out for something. Beware means there's something very dangerous, and we often see a sign warning us to beware. So if you're walking perhaps in bush, you might have to watch out, be aware of snakes. So beware of snakes. And we have a lot of signs on our roads in Australia saying beware of kangaroos. So it's just warning you that there's maybe danger ahead. So let's read these words, sound them, spell them, cover them and write them. So bear, b-air, 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 B-A-R-E, B-A-R-E, B-A-R-E. Cover it and write it 3 times. If you need to, check to make sure that you've done it right. Now this is very important that you don't just sound these words, that you spell them as well, because we know we've got these other ways of writing the air sound. So we're identifying in these words that Yes, the sound is air, and the way we are spelling it is with the letters A-R-E, not A-I-R and not E-A-R, A-R-E. So that's why it's very important to do that spell as well as the sound right and check. Off you go. This is J5, and we're doing the day 2, and we're doing the air sound as A-R-E. So you've already learnt the air sound where it's A-I-R. Now we're learning this one. So we've got B-air bear, K-air care, D-air dare, H-air hair, R-air rare, St-air stare, G-air glare, Sk-air scare, up-where, beware. So you can break those into syllables if you wanted to. So really, because there's only one consonant after it, that would be pronounced A-ware, beware. So these should have a long sound on them. It would make it easier for us to spell them then. So we've learnt, we know too that this bare means when something's not covered, like you've got bare feet or bare arms. Care means to look after something. Dare means to challenge someone. A hare is like a large rabbit. This could be rare as in a rare bird or a rare stamp if you're a stamp collector. It means it's not very common. It can also mean that the meat isn't cooked very much. So you might have, when you have a barbecue, someone might say, oh Dad, you haven't cooked the steaks long enough. They're still a bit rare. It means they'd still have a lot of red blood in them. Stare means when you look at someone for a long time without blinking. It can also be where someone is staring at you to tell you that you're doing something wrong and they don't want to speak. Glare means the light or the shine from the sun or from a torch. Scare means to frighten something. Aware is when you know something, you're aware of something, and beware is where when you're being cautious. So let's read the word sound the words, spell the words and write them. So we've got bear, B-air, B-A-R-E, cover it and write it. You can sound out all these words because these two have more than one syllable. You may choose to break them into syllables. So you'd have A as a long sound, where, B, where. You break them like that. Now here we've got a crossword for you to do for a little bit of fun. So if you haven't done a crossword before, this is how you do it. These are the clues for the numbers going down. So you write one letter in each box. So to challenge would be to dare. So find number 1 box and you write one letter in each box. Then you can cross off that number. Now if we do 1 going across, number 2 is a large rabbit. Well, we know that would be a hare. All the words have to come from up here. So number 2 going across, one letter in each box, you've got the word hare. You can finish the rest of those on your own. Now down the bottom it says write the correct words below. So we've got bear or bear. So this bear means the cuddly bear that you might take to bed with you at night time, or the animal bear that you might see in movies or shows on TV. This bear means not covered. So there's not much there. So Dad went grocery shopping as the fridge was almost bare. You have to work out which bear you think it would be. Fill in the gap with the list word. The something from the torches made it bright enough to see where we were walking in the dark cave. So you have to work out which word best fits that space there and write them in. Off you go. This is level J, list 5, and we're doing the day 3. So we've got bear, care, dare, hare, rare, stare, glare, scare, aware, beware. So you can see we're using the A-R-E for the air sound in all of these words. So you can highlight those letters in one colour, then get another colour, and we'll go through and look at some of the things that I need to point out to you. So you know that inside an A, if you can't remember whether to put a C or a K for the sound in a word, have a look to see if you can see the letter hidden inside. So we can see a C hidden inside an A, so we know to write a C before an A for the kut sound. So a C is hidden inside an A, so we write a C before an A for the kut sound. So there are 5 letters that follow the letter C for the hard kut sound. We've got A, O, U, L, R. If you hear a kut sound in a word and the letter after it is one of those, you know you must write a C before those letters for the kut sound. Now here we've got a long vowel sound for the A because there's only one consonant after it. So that would, correct pronunciation would be A where. We tend to give it a schwat sound and say up where, but it should be A where. If we said it properly, we'd know not to double that W. I think it would look quite weird if we did double that W in a word. B where, we've got the long E sound there, hence we've only got one W here as well. But it would look, once again, quite weird if we put a double W in a word. Now that's all we have in that list that we really need to point out. So let's go over them with our read it, sound it, spell it, write it. So we've got bear, B-air, B-A-R-E, cover it and write it. Now the whole point in reading it, sounding it, spelling it is when you sound it, you're hearing the sounds that you're going to have to write, and then when you spell it, you're identifying that in these words you're using A-R-E, in some words you might be using A-I-R, or other representations of the air sound, which might also be E-A-R, etc. So spelling the word is also very important, along with sounding the word. To find the sounds, then you find the letters that represent those sounds in these words. Now down here it says write the words and use them in sentences. We've got carefully. You have to take out those little add signs, write each of those parts together with no spaces, and you'll make the word carefully. Then you have to write it in a sentence for me. So we cross the road carefully, or something like that. You can do the rest of those on your own. Down here we've got verbs. First of all, you have to find the base word. Then you have to add the S to the base word. Then you're adding the ing to the base word. Now be careful, because if a word ends in E, and all of these do, we need to say E goes away when ing comes to stay. So we take away the E and we add the ing. On the end here, we just, because the E is already there, we don't have to add the ED, we just have to add the D. So we're writing, just adding the D to the base word for each of these. Scared, glared and cared. Comparators and superlatives, if you look at the words, there's a hint inside them as to what they mean. So when we compare two things, we usually add to mean more. So rare, rarer. And if we compare or look at comparing more than two things, we call it a supergroup. We call them superlatives. And we add est to mean most. So it would be rare, rarer, rarest, scary, scarier, scariest. Now you can't get rid of this it sound here. You have to keep it in when you add the ER and the EST, but you are going to change it to an it. It's going to make, you're going to actually use the I for the it sound, only because we really don't like Y's in the middle of English words. That's why we're going to change it whenever we can. So scare-est is what you'd write there. Combined with a list word, a something foot, barefoot would probably be the word. You can work out the rest of these on your own to make the compound words. This is level J, list 5, and we're looking at the day 4 page. So we've got homophones and prefixes. Homophones, prefixes. So what is a homophone? A homophone is a word that is pronounced the same as another word, but has a different meaning and has a different spelling. So saw, they sound the same, they have different meaning and they're spelt differently. New. So write the correct homophone to finish off these sentences. And your words are here. You've got 2 words for bear, 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 hare, hare, here, here, dear, dear. He did not want to take the chance of running into a bear while he was barefooted. So you have to work out which one goes in each space. You can finish those on your own. Down the bottom, a prefix is when we add to the start of a word. So it's added to the start of a word, and the ones we've given you today are uni, meaning 1, bi means 2, if you ever see it added to the start of a word. When you see tri at the start of a word, it means 3, and when you see quad at the start of a word, it means 4. So here we've got a unit, so you'd put 1, there's only 1 unit there, so you'd have to do a unit. So it's uni, but it changes its pronunciation here because we're adding the T to the end. 3, there's 3 people, it means triplet. You've got 1 uniform here, so you say uniform. 2 cycles or 2 wheels on a bike, so you call it a bicycle. If it had 3, it'd be a tricycle. If it has 1, it'd be a unicycle. If you have this stand which has 3 legs, you call it a tripod, meaning 3. So you can use those little word hints up there to work out which prefix you're going to add to each of these pictures.